Today we will talk about the shape tool in Photoshop, so let's start. Hi guys, my name is Nemanja Sekulic and welcome to another fun episode. Today we will talk about the shape tool in Photoshop and how to create your own custom shapes. So let's jump straight into Photoshop and let's have fun. Alright guys, we will start with this blank piece of paper and we will start by selecting our shape tool. It's this tool right here, or if you're using keyboard shortcut you can press U on the keyboard. Right, let's select the shape tool, and if you press and hold on this tool you will see a lot of other options. First one, it's a rectangle tool, then a rounded rectangle tool, then ellipse tool, polygon tool, line tool, and custom shape tool. We will go through all of those tools and I will explain you how to use them. So let's go to the first one, it's rectangle tool, and select that one. Right, at the top of the Photoshop here you have some options. First, you have shape here, the drop down menu where you have shape, path, and pixels. First we will use a shape and we will create rectangular shape. Then you have a fill, that means the color of that rectangle or the shape you want to create. We can choose any color we want, for example red one. Then we have a stroke. I will show in a moment what the stroke is, and this is the thickness of the stroke. And then we have some other options that I will show in a moment. First, let's press and click to draw some custom shape. As you can see here, I'm drawing some custom rectangle shape. If I want to draw a perfect square shape, I will just press and hold Shift key, like so, and then I will draw a perfect square shape. But I will not use a square now, I will use some kind of rectangle, like so, and if I release the mouse button, then you will see that we have our first custom shape. Fill, it's red, this is a red color, this rectangular shape, it's filled with red. Stroke, it's crossed, that means that there is no color applied, and we can choose any color we want. For example, we can use this green one, I don't know, and not yellow one, but the green one. And you cannot see right now because it's too thin. It's only 1 pixel wide, and this is 1 pixel. We can make it bigger. This number here represents the thickness of that stroke line around our rectangle, right? And we can make it bigger or smaller, or you can go here to drop down menu and just make it bigger or smaller. I like to go here where the stroke letters are and just in a real time change that stroke size. All right, and we can choose the stroke size. If you don't want to have a stroke, you can go always here and cross it, so that means that no color is applied, but I will use some green color. And the good thing here is that anytime in a process you can go and change all settings. You can make this rectangle smaller or bigger without losing the quality. You can go always and change the color of that, or the stroke, or anything that you want. You can always manipulate that. Except if you go right here to the layers and say right click and then rasterize layer, then you will have just an ordinary pixelate bitmap. So that means that this will be just if you use the brush tool and just draw this rectangle and fill it with some color, and that's it. If you make it bigger, you will lose the quality and so on. Let's undo this a few times, like so. And now see this small icon here, that means that this is now in a vector shape, and this is a shape, and you can manipulate with that whatever you want. If I press Ctrl Command T, I can make this bigger or smaller, as you can see. If I want to make it bigger or smaller from the center, just press and hold Alt key while holding a Shift key. I'm holding a Shift key to constrain the proportions. If I for example want to release the Shift key, then I can, as you can see, I'm still holding an Alt key or Option key on a Mac. That means that I'm changing the size right from the center here. If I release the Alt or Option key, I will change the size from this corner, right? And we can always make it smaller or make it bigger. It will not affect to the quality of this shape. Okay, that's first thing. Now let's go back to our shape tool and let's go to this next option where this line is. If you press and click on that, you have some other options here. First is the line. Second, it's some how to say those are dots. Those are some you see. I don't know the English word for these lines, right? And you can apply this kind of shape for a stroke. That's really nice. And what is nice too, you can go here to more options, and you have this one, this menu, and you can change the dash space and the gap space. This is dash, yeah, dash, and the gap space here. And you can, for example, put maybe 2 for a dash and maybe 1 for a gap. You will have something like so. If you put maybe 4 for a gap, you will have a bigger gaps around between those dashes here, and so on and so on. You can experiment. You can add more dashes. For example, you can add 1 more dash with a size of 2, and it's something like so, or another dash with size of 4, for example, or 3, and you will have some other interesting shapes. But I will use maybe 4 and 2, and this is nice. All right, if I want, I can go here or here and change to dots. And now we have nice dots all around this. And of course, we can change the gap, maybe 4. Now there is a bigger gap between the dots, and so on and so on. You can play with that. Depends of the purpose of your shape on the screen right here. What is really nice here is this align option right here. You can choose how to align those dots or lines or dashes. All right, depends what you want. Now it's inside. That means that those dots, as you can see, are from the inside of this main line here. Right? If we put the center, now those dots will be on that line. It will be centered on this line around, right? And if we put outside, maybe you cannot see now because of the color. Let's say okay, and let's change the color to red, right? Now you can see those dots are outside of this line of the rectangular shape. So if you want to change this, just go here, choose options, or you can go here to align and just put it. This is default, inside, centered, or outside. Depends, of course, again, of your preference. Right, that's this options, right? This option right here. All right, the next thing is just the width and the height of the rectangle or the shape you want to draw. Right, you can choose to change the width or the height here. And if you press and click on this chain icon here, you will link the width and height, and you can move them all together like you're using a shift key and transform it, right? And another really nice option is this one right here. Let's hide this. All right, you have the property panel. It's here all the time, and it has all those options from here. And I will hide it for now. And let me show you this option here. It's first one, it's new layer. What does that mean? Well, anytime I choose to create a new shape, to draw a new shape on screen, it will create that new shape on a separate layer. As you can see, if I draw a new shape, it will create a new layer right here, and another shape, it will create a new layer for that shape, and so on and so on. Let's just to change the keyboard, let's undo this, right? And let's go to the next option. Next, it's combine shapes, right? And if I want to combine shapes, I will click on this one. Let's make this smaller, right? What combine shapes means? It means like whenever I want to create a new shape on a screen, like so, it will not create a new layer for that shape. Actually, it will create the shape on the same layer, but it will combine with this shape. Now this represents one shape actually. And if I move this shape, or if I draw another one right here, as you can see, now it will combine this one and this one will become one. And if I use here pad selection tool and move any of those 3 shapes, for example this one, I will combine all those shapes into one. But with that difference, then this is non-destructive way. That means that you can always select any of those shapes and move it to change the, I don't know, to change that overall shape that you want to create. maybe you want to create some floor plan for your building or your house or your room, or I don't know, anything. And this is nice nice way to draw that, right? Something like so. You can always move any of those rectangle that you draw. And if you want to finalize this, to make this only one shape, you can just go right here and right click and rasterize. Then you will have a bitmap, but you can play with that too if you don't want to have separate shapes on one layer. All right, then the next option right here, it's, let's select any of these, right? It's subtract from shape. That means that anything, this is a new shape, and if I move that shape inside another shape, this part that overlaps with a new shape will be subtracted and it will not be shown on the screen. So if I move this shape in the center here, it will be a hole in the center because it's subtracted. All right, that's really nice and handy option if you want to draw some holes here, or to create something like so, or something like so. I don't know, anything you want. You can be really creative, depends on the project you're working on, but that's another option. All right, let's go to fourth option. It's intersect shaped areas. What does it mean? Let me show you. It means that the shape will be only shown where that shape intersect or overlapped with another shape. So here, this big rectangle and this small one are intersecting, overlapping, and this only the overlapped part, it's shown as a shape. As here, if we intersect all three, you can see only where those three are intersect, the shape will be shown. If I move this out, only this small part. If I move all the way out, nothing is shown right here because there is no overlapping. Now this is overlapped and only this small portion is shown. All right, now let's go to the last option here. It's exclude overlapping shapes. What does this mean? All right, let me show you like so. Anything that it's overlapping will not be shown, right? Like so. It's opposite of the previous option. Everything that it's overlapping, it's excluded from shape, right? That's really nice. And that's all options that you have right here. Okay, let's use combine shapes and create something like this. All right, guys, we have another interesting and useful option, and that's the align option here for the shape. So let me show you how this works. Right, if you use this pad selection tool and select everything here, all those three shapes that we created as combined shapes, and for example, for some reason you want to align them, for example, on the left side here, you can go to this and say align left edges, and all three shapes will be aligned on this left edge, or horizontal center, then it will be right here. It's same like the text aligning tool. Or right edges, it's right here, or top edges, it will be all here, bottom vertical, and so on and so on. Really nice option here. It's if you want to align this to not just to shapes but to canvas here. If you want to align to a canvas, just press here align to a canvas option, and then you can do the same. Select everything, and for example, align to the left side. Everything will go to the left side of that canvas, and that's how you can use. Let's undo this align option. Another interesting thing, it's bring shape to front or to back. It's for example, if you have a lot of shapes stacked one in front of another and you have different kind of colors, you want to bring one shape or another. For example, this one you want to bring to the front, and you will click this, it will bring to a front, or just the one step forward, and so on and so on. Actually, I rarely use this, but it's really handy option, and especially if you use Adobe Illustrator, you're familiar with that. It's really handy option. All right, that's about the first rectangular shape. And one more thing that I didn't mention here, I will just delete this one. Okay, yes, I will delete everything. All right, and I will just create a new rectangular shape just to show you. You have another great option. Let's choose, for example, blue and make it wider, something like so. you have this option right here in the properties panel, some corners here drawn. And if you click this chain icon, all corners will change in the same way because they are constrained. Right now, let's change the roundness of those corners. You can see really handy option. You can change the roundness of those corners. For example, for some other reasons you want to change only one corner of those four, you can uncheck this, unlink this, and change only one corner. Maybe this one, and maybe here this left one, and you have some interesting custom shape. Maybe you don't like this, you just want this inside part, that's cool. Or if you want this stroke to be black, that's really cool too. All right, and let me show you another trick here. If you wondered, we have opacity and fill options, and sometimes they're usually in most cases they're doing the same thing, changing the opacity, overall opacity of the object that it's on the paper here on the screen. And what I want to show you here, in this case, if you change the opacity, it will do right that. It will change the opacity of this shape. But if you decrease the fill option here, it will just change the opacity of the fill, in this case of this red color. So let me show you. The stroke will stay intact. The fill is 0, fill is 42 or 100, and that's really handy and great option for this shape tool. Right? Let's delete this shape and let's go to the next one. It's rounded rectangular tool. It's the same thing that I showed you right a few moments ago. If you draw this, you will have a rectangle but with the rounded corners, and of course you can go right here and change. If you link it, change everything in the same time, and that's the only difference between the rectangular and rounded rectangle tool. Right? Next one, it's ellipse tool. Let's delete this one, and we can draw some ellipse right here. Okay, and if you want to draw a perfect circle, it's the same like with the square. Just press and hold Shift on the keyboard and you will draw a perfect circle. And that's it. You can add again this stroke, make it bigger or smaller. And one more thing, you can have a stroke in one color, you can have the stroke in gradient or this pattern. If you want to fill the stroke with a pattern, you can just choose this last option right here. If you want to choose with the gradient, right, you can change the gradient angle, you can change the gradient type, maybe reflected like so. Then you can change the scale of that. See, anything that you want, you can create really interesting result with a gradient too. Have fun, experiment with all those options that I showing you today and practice, and you will really be able to achieve great results with that. Right? That's with gradient. You can use the gradient here with the fill option too to create something funny and interesting. You can create your own gradient or use anything that is predefined right here, and you have really a lot of gradients in Photoshop. You can just load gradients here. There are really a lot of predefined gradients, right? And let me show you another. That's with the that was the ellipse tool, and you can create different kind of ellipse, right? Something like so, or you can create circles by holding Shift key, and that's really great. So let's delete all of these shapes and this one too, and let's go to Polygon tool. Polygon tool, it's really handy and nice tool, right? You have the same options like before, except we have now the sides option, extra option. All right, let's use 5 for a side maybe, and we will have something like so. Everything else, it's completely the same. Let's choose black and make it like this, and we will make some nice 5-side polygon. That's really nice, right? If you want a triangle, you will have of course 3 only sides for triangle, like so. And if you press and hold Shift and rotate, you will rotate this triangle in some, I think it's in 45 degrees, yes. And you can let go whenever you want. You can always choose any of those shapes with this path selection tool, maybe I want this one, and then go back here and I want to change. Okay, I didn't choose that one. I was on a separate layer. I want here to change the color of that one, right? And we can do that too, because now I used 2 layers to create those triangles and those 5 angle shape, right? Let's delete that and let's go here. Maybe want the, again, let me show 5 angles, right? Let's do something like so. And let me show another trick. We have this gear option here, and we have something that it's called smooth corners. And now if I check the smooth corners, I will have the same 5 angle shape, but with the smoothed corners, and it's really nice. I have smooth corners here, and if I check a star and uncheck the smooth corner, I will have star, because now instead, or if I want a 6, I don't need 5, I want 6, I will have 6-point star. Now it's a little bit different. Photoshop, it's using a different algorithm to draw those corners. It goes first inside, then outside, and it's the way how it creates a star. It's really handy option, right? If you want maybe 8-point star, you can choose something like that and create a star. Or you can go and create smooth indents, and I'll show. This is something like so. Actually, yeah, this is really fun way to create some custom shapes. If you want 3, you will have something like this, and you can create some other fun shapes. All right, and that's how you can manipulate with those options right here. Right now, let's jump to a line tool and let me show you how the line tool works. Right, it's here inside that shape tool. You have a line tool, and if you choose a color for a line, maybe let's leave the red one, and we don't want a stroke for this. We don't want a stroke for this, right? And we'll create a line. We will have just one red line and another red line. And because we are here on a new layer option, every line that we create right here, it will be on a new layer. Let's delete all of this and let's create another line. Of course, if you choose combine shapes, then you will have everything on one layer. Sometimes it's handy to have everything on one layer, and sometimes it's really nice to have everything on a separate layer. Again, depends of the type of project you're doing. Let's delete everything here, okay, all of this, and let's create a new line like so. And we have some other options here. We have, of course, stroke color. We can choose the blue, for example, and we will have just the blue color because the stroke it's too big. Now, if I go right here, you will see the line, it's red. And if I change the stroke pixel size to maybe 2 or 1, because this is so tiny, it will be overwhelmed with the stroke and we will have the blue line. But if we want to make the line thicker, we can go right here, and choose the weight of the line. And maybe I want the line to be at 13 pixels. Let's just select the line. Maybe let's create a new line, right? Now it's this weight, it's 16 pixels. Now it's 36 pixels, and we can now have this stroke even wider, bigger, and we'll have something like so. And everything else, it's completely the same like the previous shapes that I shown you. Alright guys, now let me show you the path and the pixels option here with the shape tool. Let's do that. If you choose rectangle tool, for example, and don't want a shape, just want a path, and create something like this, you will create a path out of this shape, and it's completely the same if you use the pen tool, right? And just created something like so, some nice path. It's absolutely the same, and then you can play with this path. You can change the you can of course change the roundness of that and anything that we did with the previous in the previous examples, and you can then turn this path into selection or fill this path or do anything that you want, like you're using a pen tool. If you don't know how to use a pen tool, I have a great tutorial about that right here. Right, this is pet. All right, you have here some options. You can make a mask out of that. You can create shape out of that. And if you create shape, it will be like we use the shape here and create the shape. It's completely, it's a completely same procedure if you are using a pen tool. Right now, let me show you how to use the pixels option here in the shape tool. So to do that, we need to choose from a path the pixels, and then we cannot draw here on the screen. Why? Because in a pixel mode, this shape tool, it's behaving like a pen tool. We need to create a new layer to draw on that. Then we have an option to draw, and we need to choose the color. It's exactly the same like with the brush tool. So we will choose some red color and then create some custom shape, and that shape will be in a pixel mode, not in a vector mode. It's pixel based shape, and we can then just move it like we do something that we draw with a brush, and so on and so on. If we create maybe some triangle here, right here, we cannot move any of those triangles separately. This is just a new shape that is pixel based shape. It's not vector based shape, and that's it. It's the same if you use the brush here and just click and create a triangle and fill it like so, and that's completely the same. This is the easy way to draw a triangle, and with the brush you can just brush it anything like so, and this is destructive way. We cannot separate those shapes one from another. Right, that's the pixel based shapes. So again, we have a shape tool, we have a path tool, and pixels here. Okay, and now let me show you the last step here. Let's delete everything here. The last one, it's custom shape tool. This is really funny because you have a lot of predefined custom shapes here, and if you don't see all of these, just go here to the gear icon and select all and press OK. Yes, oops, no, because I already have it, and we will have all of those custom shapes. For example, you can use cat and just draw a cat. With the shift you will constrain the proportion, and everything is completely the same like you used with previous examples that I show you in this tutorial, right? And we now have really nice silhouette of a cat. You can add some strokes if you want, or change the color of the cat, and so on and so on. So let me show you now if I delete this cat, and here let's go with this picture. And now, for example, I want to add some birds here, or some, I don't know, maybe dog or anything that I want from a custom shape here. I can choose the photo of a bird, right? And I can just draw a small bird right here. Yeah, I don't want to be red, I want to be black. Okay. And now let me see, I have really nice bird. I can duplicate it or make another one bigger or smaller. You can duplicate that with Ctrl+J and just duplicate this, rotate it just normally when like you're using some other tools. And this is really nice. For example, you want to add a dog. Here, just choose the dog right here and maybe put him to stand right here, like so. And now we have our dog standing right here on the ledge. All right, and that's really nice way how you can use a custom shape tool. Another way how you can use a custom shape tool in Photoshop to be a little bit more creative, I will show you really quickly right now. Let's delete all of this. Let's hide this, and let's create a background with a solid color layer. And I don't know, let's use maybe bluish or something like this. Double click on that, and I want to use a gradient. Maybe this reflected, why not? Let me see. Something like so. And now I want to use this photo. And let's put this photo out of this group. Okay, let's go out, please. Okay. And now I want to combine this photo with a custom shape tools in Photoshop, or something that is not custom, maybe with a triangle, right? And how to do that? First, I want to use this Polygon tool, and I will choose 3 for a triangle, or you can choose 4, 5, 6, I don't know, anything that you want, just be creative. And I will first create first triangle, and I will rotate it like so to be like a big play button, right? And I will put it right here. Then I will create few small ones. Okay, and I want every of that to be a separate layer. This one may be right here. This is completely custom. You can do anything that you want. Okay, let me see. Something like so. And if you press and hold the space bar, you can move this. Something like so. Why not? Then create a new one right here. You don't need to create this kind of shape at all. I just want to show you what you can do with this. Let me see, this shape tool in Photoshop. Okay, something like so. Maybe another one right here, and so on and so on. You got an idea. You can really be creative with this. And oops. And now let me show. And now if I select first one and the last one and right click and say merge shapes, it's here. I have everything on one layer, and I will put this layer at the top and just clip it to the shape layer. To clip the layer to another layer, just press and hold Alt or Option key and click between those two layers, right? And now, as you can see, we have our photo applied, and it's visible only where this custom shape is visible, okay? And that's one way how you can use the custom shape tool in Photoshop. You can use it on completely other different ways. You can add shadow right here, or you can create another different kind of custom shape. Maybe you want to frame this. Maybe you want to use the rectangle tool and just create actually square, and you want to frame this photo in this square. That's nice. Or you don't maybe want like this. Maybe you want to rotate it. Just press Ctrl Command T and rotate it. Maybe something like so. Whoops. No, cancel it. Sorry. Rotate it something like this. And yes. And now you have this photo framed in this custom shape. Maybe you want to add another shape, duplicate it, make it bigger like so, and put it above this layer. Let's bring back this. Okay, let's put it above this layer, and you want to change the fill because you don't want fill to be visible, and you want actually to add a stroke, maybe I don't know, white color, right? And you want the stroke to be bigger, something like so, and you have really nice shape. You can maybe change this to dash or dots, right? And apply all of these settings that we did today, and you can add some other shapes around it, and so on and so on. You can really play a lot with this custom shapes tool. And the last thing that I want to show you is how to create your own custom shape, and that's really easy. You can just use a pen tool right here and create any kind of shape that you want. For example, this one. I don't know why I'm creating this one, but this is our custom shape. You can create sunglasses, you can create, I don't know, some wheels or anything that you want. You can use some maybe references from internet, some silhouettes, and just trace that and create some interesting custom shape. And I want to turn this into a custom shape. Just right click and say define custom shape, and just name this shape, and I'll just leave it shape 1 because I will delete it later, and press OK. Now we can delete this, and we can go here to a custom shape tool and go right here all the way to the bottom, and we will have our custom shape, and we can draw things with that custom shape, anything that you want. All right, and you can play with that and create your own artwork. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope that you liked this tutorial and that you learned something new out of it. There are a lot of new features here for you, maybe a lot of you are familiar with the shape tool, but it's really useful and not so often used tool in Photoshop. It's really powerful, and you can achieve a lot of great and interesting results with that shape tool. So practice, experiment, have fun, and if you have any questions regarding to this episode, please leave them in the comments below. I will be glad to answer them. So see you next week in the next fun episode. Bye bye.